In this episode on faith, I am talking about faith without works is dead. James 2:17 reminds us that faith without works is dead. So as we start this 30-day challenge, I really want to set an intention to challenge you. And as I'm challenging you, I am challenging myself. Like, know, friends, that I am right there with you, walking out this challenge, increasing my alignment, increasing my discipline, increasing my action, increasing my works. So you're not alone at all. So when you think about your work, like faith without works is dead, I want to challenge you to think about every single area of your life. I want to challenge you to think about your faith. Are you truly acting in alignment with your faith, whether that's for you morning devotions, whether that's prayer time, whether that's releasing control of an area of life? I have definitely been there, and I'm definitely walking through new challenges of faith, of expectation, of discipline. Like, this is an act of faith for me. This is an act of discipline. Like, I have not done a 30-day challenge that I'm releasing on video and YouTube, restreaming live, uh, repurposing on my podcast, sharing on my email list, and on all the social channels, and then repurposing again in shorter clips. So this is a leap of faith for me too. So know that I'm right here with you. Then have you, like, think about your works in your wellness. So faith without works is dead. You say you want to be healthier, and I've also been there. I'll talk about my story in just a bit. But are you doing are you eating what is going to get you to the end goal of what you say you want for your wellness? And years ago, before I lost over 55 pounds and became alcohol free 7 years ago and kept the weight off, I would go up and down, and yo yo like crazy, because so much of the goals I would set were tied to either a one time event or a circumstance, and then I would go right back because there wasn't a firm foundation, and I was really, really, really unstable in my thinking and a lot of things. And when I finally reached those results, it was basically three things. It was faith, it was changing and replacing healthy habits, it was accountability and tips, tools, and tech. Meaning accountability with an incredible community like Herbalife Nutrition, meaning accountability with Team Edge and deciding to compete in NPC bikini shows. So years before, I had competed and done century rides. I did 2 century rides, yes, on a road bike, 100 miles in Lake Tahoe. Then I decided I wanted to do triathlons. I was searching for what really aligned for me and what set my soul on fire. Then I did a couple of sprint triathlons. I did an Olympic distance triathlon, raising money to give back to help end cancer and help blood cancers through the Leukemia and Lymphoma Society. Then I also participated in a couple of half marathons, a couple of 5Ks, 10Ks I've done throughout my whole life, and then 2 half marathons. So many times people told me, oh, once you do half marathons, you're going to want to sign up for a full marathon. I was like, you guys are insane. My body feels like it's dying. Like, I feel like I'm about to collapse at any moment. No, I do not have a desire at all to do a full marathon. Although I contemplated it, because at one point I had been thinking about Ironmans when I did the Olympic distance. But I digress. Then when I years ago, when I was in high school, I always wanted to inspire through fitness. And like many women and many young girls, I would admire these incredible women on magazine covers and envisioned myself as that, and met incredible people like Natalie Min, Natalie Jill, then got exposed to like bodybuilding.com, and then ended up finding Team Edge, which Ingrid and Joe helped coach me into my first, second, and third fitness shows, and fell in love with the basically the combination of the nutrients and the workouts and getting stronger. And I continue to still do weight workouts, and also dancing and yoga and walking. And so it's all about finding what you love. That's why I'm sharing that testimony and sharing that story. And side note, along those lines too, disclaimer, the average person that uses Herbalife loses a half a pound to a pound a week with a healthy, active lifestyle. Because every single step of the way, as I was changing and replacing habits with food, Herbalife has been there as part of my journey with the shakes, with the tea, with the tabs, with the snacks like protein coffee and beverage mix and so much more. And the community is absolutely incredible. I'm going to talk about more about that in the wellness as well in some of the episodes. And along those lines, I started to really think about, okay, Katrina, you say you want to get and stay healthier, but what habits are you doing and like what you buy? Like what are you buying with your groceries? I used to eat a whole jar of peanut butter once a month during my womanly time, a crazy, crazy habit, or a bag of Reese's Pieces like years ago. Then I thought about, okay, what actions are you taking? Are you walking? Are you working out? Are you biking? Are you swimming? Like, what are you doing to combine and marry the fitness habits and the food habits together to get to the end result? And you guys, like just taking that example further, I thought I would lose like 15-ish pounds. I ended up losing 55 plus pounds to my first fitness show. Completely blew my mind. I still remember like yesterday, one of my visions was to shoot with Brett Seeley. He's an incredible lifestyle and fitness photographer, does incredible artwork with his photography, with like literally art. Like I did a fine arts naked photo shoot with him. Just incredible, incredible. And literally, one of my visions was to shoot like a running Nike pose with him because he has epic shots of other athletes with that. And like, I ended up creating and co creating and manifesting that. And then, along those lines, back to, I remember like that first photo shoot, that first fitness show and that first photo shoot. I remember still thinking when I was shooting the pictures with Brett, I remember thinking like, oh, I hope I look okay. I hope like my stomach or whatever isn't too big. Even though I had just competed on a stage with other bodybuilders and placed like top 5 in Las Vegas, my mind still wasn't there. And when I felt prompted like one morning, a couple of days after the photo shoot, to go look at my email like 4 o'clock in the morning and saw the pictures, I literally cried like a baby because now I could see and feel and touch and know that the transformation was completely real, even though I was looking at myself in the mirror every single day. And I know like a lot of times we do that or self sabotage or we think we're not going to get there. So we hold back or we counter our habits. So faith without works is dead. I've talked about faith. Wellness. What wellness habits are you aligning or misaligning? And what one or two habits could you change and replace? That's literally where my journey started, you guys. Third thing, let's talk about love. Like, what does the song say? Let's talk about sex, baby. No, let's talk about love. That one of the things I realized walking into this year, I was like, okay, I've been saying that I want a purpose, passion partner, and a best friend. And looking at all that, I thought, okay, yes, you've gone through these healing, steps, but what else can you do to take those steps forward and action and align? So I started mentioning things, say, on my podcast. I started speaking out things in existence. I continued to get healing in different things. I recently connected with Talkify, a matchmaking service. I started being more open and intentional when I would go different places. I'm getting this month, so these are the actions, this is the work. This month, I'm getting at Glow Graphics dating guide on how she set up different boundaries and parameters before she found her love, that they're now creating the Lively program. So faith, wellness, love. And I'm literally just laying out, you guys, things I'm walking through in the hopes and the intention of you get inspired and have ideas for your own journey in 1, 2, 3, or any of these areas of life. And you pick one area that you're hyper focusing on. Speaking of calling, and what happens is, before I talk about calling, what happens is once you start to catapult momentum in one area, it feeds off into other areas and the discipline grows and you get better and better and better and it gets easier and easier and easier because other things become habits. They become like easy. Like now it's easy for me to eat healthy. It's easy for me to not drink. Like it's easy, but it wasn't at one point. So let's talk about calling. Calling, as I shifted from corporate to calling, I started to realize where I had chosen or done different things really to fit into culture or to community or to family. Now, don't get me wrong, I'm super grateful for my degrees. I'm super grateful for all the corporate and all the experiences I've had. But if I would have focused on intention and alignment and healing like I did in college, the choices I would have made would have been very different. And then as I started to transform every single thing in creating a life and business I love, it involved intentional, constant action. And one blog post, and I'll drop it in the comments, is how transformation is required to create a life and business you love, or my transformation from the inside out, because it's literally a step by step by step journey, you guys, from fear to faith, from self hate to love, and on and on. Like I talk about that in the blog post and the themes. So, calling, then let's talk about money. So, money is also something I've walked through and I'm walking through a ton. So, yes, I'm a CPA. Yes, I've made other 6 to 8 figures. But what I recognized in my own personal worthiness and habits with money about 7+ years ago, and I've been really, really, really digging deep, like with my six-pack money maker, is basically like I would get to here with money, say, 6 to 8 figures for others, then be at 6 figures for myself. And the next thing I know, I would go to the polar opposite. So there was this like repeating story of I'm not worthy, I'm not worthy, I'm not worthy on the surface. And there was this repeating story of overspending and under earning. So I recognize, especially in a recent book I read called The Worthy Project, and really in my prayer time and whatnot, where things were misaligned. So more and more and more, I'm like, okay, where can I be a wise steward, a great money manager of the money I have and what I have in my hands right now? Where can I create wealth in like my business to business programs like CMO, our influencer management, our social media, or the online courses like the Createit Monthly that you guys are going to get exposed to this in the next 4 weeks. And of course, check out all my freebies on the show, on my YouTube, on the blog, on the freebies library, because I've got tons to keep you busy for years, literally. So I constantly look at, okay, what do I have? How am I stewarding that to, and I'll talk even more about that in wealth. And where can I create wealth? How can I create wealth? How can I see, feel limitless possibilities? Because we have limitless possibilities the more we get out of our comfort zones, out of our invisible walls of fear. And you guys, courage is not the absence of fear. It's walking out the work in spite of the fear, in spite of, oh, what are they going to think when they see me on YouTube? Oh, what are they going to think about this? Oh, what are they going to think about that? And, and there are constant moments I have of feeling, and it's better and better and better as I work on my mindset, as I work things out. But I have moments of, oh, feeling like I'm not enough or feeling like I'm too much. And, and revisiting or reliving different voices that I've heard from my past. And I'm sure you have felt like that too, because likely if you're tuning into this, you're a multi-passionate entrepreneur, creator, and CEO. So in summary, we talked about faith without works is dead, and specifically James 2:17. We talked about our faith, our wellness, love, calling, and money. And obviously, you could keep going on with that with travel, with communities. We're going to get more into that in the 30 days to Createit challenge. And comment down below on what spoke to you the most. Comment down below on what you will be taking action on today. No matter when you listen to this, whether it's day one or whether YouTube algorithm or my Instagram reminders come up to you, whatever it is. And hit subscribe if you haven't yet. And share this video. Share this video, whether you share it on YouTube, whether you share it through Instagram, through Threads, through whatever social channel is, your piece of the pie, so that others may be inspired to create it as well. Know that No matter whether you believe in God or not, know that you are prayed for. I have prayed for you to listen to this. I've prayed for the community. I've prayed for however and whatever God wants to do through this challenge. And